Hello everyone, thank you for coming, thank you for joining. I'm Tihana, I'm a software tester in Infinum. My accessibility journey started by doing accessibility review on one of our projects on a mobile app, which is not a very good approach to do accessibility review when the app is already live for a few years. And I'm going to tell you why. So yeah, this is my, sorry, forgot. Yeah, so for starters, this is just a brief overview of what I'm going to talking about. I'll give an introduction to generally accessibility testing. I'll talk a bit more about web accessibility testing, and I'll show you some examples. For the introduction, I put this like I would say definition of accessibility testing. So basically, what we need to do as software testers is to put ourselves in the shoes of people with disability, which is really hard because you have to take into consideration a lot of different disabilities. You have to, you already saw how the app is working. You already have some your regular behavior while interacting with the app, and now you have to do complete opposite. And now I'm going to show you why is that complex process. So first, what we need to have in mind is WCAG's 4 principles of accessibility. We need to ensure that app is perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. And they really have a lot of requirements, guidelines, details about all the possible elements of the app. So yeah, and the next one is, of course, users use a lot of different browsers, a lot of different tools and plugins. So you need to see what is the best approach for your app. Then what we have to have in mind that all websites can also be opened on our mobile apps in the browsers. So that is also one chunk of issues that is separate from the issues on the web. And of course, the last but not least, yeah, there's really a lot of people in the world with some sort of disability, 1.3 billion. And I don't know, first, when you think about it, you first think of people who are blind or vision impaired, but there's really a lot of different disabilities like hearing impairment, color blindness, dyslexia, and so on. But it doesn't have to be that complex. What is important to do to shift accessibility testing to the left, so not to do it at the end when the product is already developed. You have to incorporate it from the very beginning. That's the easiest and cheapest way. So what should QA do? In the planning phase, participate in refinements, in planning sessions, contribute with user scenarios that needs to be taken into consideration, some edge cases. In the design phase, it would be good if testers can sit with the design team and go through the design mock-ups and see if the general layout is working. In the development phase, we can start with integrating automated tests into our CI, and of course at the end to perform end-to-end accessibility testing, manual, automated, and of course at the end it's good to include real users with disabilities for some acceptance testing to see if we implemented everything as we should. So a bit about web accessibility testing. We have 3 types of testing. Manual testing, which is basically visual inspection of the app, trying out navigation with or without keyboard, and so on. Then automated testing, basically writing automated tests or using some automation accessibility tools like Wave. I'm going to show it a bit later. I have to say that automated testing is just an addition to manual testing because it cannot test everything. We have to manually check not some, but a lot of parts of the app that needs like a human perspective. And of course, user testing, getting feedback from real people who use the app. So now I listed assistive technologies that help users with disabilities to use the apps. For people with visual disabilities, they have challenges to see the text, images, videos, navigating the pages, the apps. And what can help them are screen readers and screen magnifiers. Then in people with auditory disabilities, they have challenges to hear speech, music, and other sounds that can be heard. How can we help them to put alternative text explanations, subtitles, and descriptions? People with motor disabilities have issues with swiping, scrolling, and clicking on small buttons, so they use mouse and keyboard alternatives and some voice recognition software. And for people with cognitive issues, they have problems with attention, memory, reading, math, and so on. So they use writing and reading assistants, for example, spell checkers, grammar checkers, some dictation tools, and so on. A little bit about screen readers. So most popular ones are VoiceOver for Mac and JAWS and NVDA for Windows. What they do, basically they read the elements of the screen out loud, and users can navigate the screen using keyboard commands or gestures. And I put one, you could already see it in Ange's example, but what I did to help myself is that I put a modifier. I put caps lock in my case. This is basically the first part. Okay, so this is where screen reader lands on our web page first. This is a button for home navigation, and this is the text for that element, the first part of the accessibility label. And the second part is that it says you're currently on a link. To click this link, press caps lock space. So it tells you what to do when you're on some of the elements. Like this, all these links will have this kind of accessibility helper text. It's recommended to put to set a voiceover or screen reader modifier, so it's easier to navigate the elements. And of course, it's good that screen readers always tell you what to do, what to there are multiple, like a lot of combinations of modifier, in my case caps lock, and another button on the keyboard for different kinds of elements. For example, you can jump to all the headings on your page, or all the links, or any other element type. Okay, so this is automated testing tool called Wave. It basically evaluates the accessibility of a web page. You can do it on their site, just put a link to your website, or you can install it as a browser extension. It's supported by Chrome, Firefox, and Microsoft Edge. But it helps just detecting the basic issues like empty labels, contrast issues, and so on. What is good about this tool? So you first get the summary. We have like multiple tabs here. You first get the summary, and then the second tab is details. So you see how many elements in each category are incorrect, and then you see your website on the right. And when you click on each element that is where we have an issue, you get this pop-up window, and you see the description of a failure. And what is good about it, it references the WCAG guideline of that issue, so you can go to the WCAG and see how it should be. Okay, and now I'm going to show you some examples of accessibility issues, but Ange already did a great job. Okay, so this is my first example. This is for text alternatives. So basically WCAG says that we need to provide text alternatives for any non-text content so that it can be changed into other forms people are using. And now I'm going to show you two versions of alt text. The first version is woman sitting on a park bench. And second version is image of a young woman sitting alone and enjoying coffee on a wooden bench in a park on a sunny day. And now I want to ask you, what do you think, which one is better, version 1 or version 2?
Version 2.
Yes. Version 1 is correct because it basically says all the crucial information about this image, and version 2 is just too detailed. Imagine that you're scrolling the feed or going through some carousel or photo album, and you're swiping through a lot of images, and for each image you get this detailed description, and it could be overwhelming. And the first version is communicating all the necessary information for you to have an overview what is on the picture. Okay, so the second example is already like similar to what Ange showed you, but I recorded it on the Amazon web shop. What WCAG says about navigation is that we need to provide ways to help users navigate, to find content, and to determine where they are. So users always need to know where they are on the web page. They shouldn't be lost. And now my first example, so this is basically the same website on the laptop and on my mobile phone. And this is a recording of how I'm navigating with screen reader on the Amazon. Now I'm gonna start the video. So it first says that we are here on the Amazon navigation home button, and then I'm swiping to the right, and then I'm entering the drop down to, okay, now it will be, okay, so now we have a drop down to select a category of product that we want to buy. But as you can see, we don't have any information about elements that are in the drop down. We just see the first one, all. And all the other in the, sorry, I need to just, okay. I don't know if I can play it again, sorry. Okay, so user entered the drop-down, and then he doesn't have any information about what is in the drop-down. He just, I don't know, he can pick any and hope that he picked it correct, but basically user doesn't get any information about the drop-down. Yeah, that's it. And then I'm navigating down, but it's still here all departments, the first one. Yeah, so this is an incorrect accessibility, it's an accessibility issue. The second example is basically the same thing, but in the mobile menu. And now I'm going to play this video. So I'm entering this menu, and I'm going through all these elements before the categories. And what happens now is that, can you see it? Like it goes through, there are more elements below, but I should, like, I have to navigate through all of them until I reach this button. And it will be good, it will be better if I, after this element, reach this one and, you know, expand the menu. Yeah, so this is also very bad experience for users with disabilities who are using screen readers. Okay, so, sorry. Next one is actually a new thing in the latest version of WCAG. It's about authentication. It was introduced in the latest version. It requires level AA, so it needs to be implemented by law. And here are a few bad examples of authentication types. So the first one is very popular CAPTCHA. So imagine you're a user with visual impairment using a screen reader. You get this CAPTCHA Turing test, and it says select all images where the bus is or the stairs or whatever. And the screen reader doesn't tell you, hey, this image has bus, this doesn't, this have. And there's nothing you can do. If there's not another type of authentication on that website, you cannot do it. You have to, I don't know, ask someone for help or just give up. The second, yeah, and also just to mention, I put here a link to this inaccessibility of CAPTCHA. So this W3C, they did a review of CAPTCHA, the whole, like a big document, and they in the end concluded that there's nothing you can do. CAPTCHA is just inaccessible. So it's a good read. The second example is this two-word test. So also, yeah, this is a picture. These are the pictures. So user comes to the first part of this form, and it says in the second part it says type the two words, but he cannot see it unfortunately, and yeah, there's also nothing he can do. And another example, I don't have a picture for that, but I believe you are familiar with it. When user needs to enter each digit of a verification code in a separate input field, and it doesn't lead them to the second one, he needs to, I don't know, go to the second element to enter the second digit. So that's also an issue, and it also it's related to time-limited issue. When you have, for example, a minute and a half to enter the code. You have to go to your mail, copy the code, and get back to your website and enter it in this kind of input field. You don't have enough time. But still, I don't know why it's not visible here, maybe because of the resolution. I have another point here. Even though all these types of authentications are inaccessible, it still raises security concerns. So we cannot not implement it. We just need to find another way to implement it. This is maybe kind of example of what you asked. I have two examples actually. The first one is our e-citizens platform in Croatia, where you can do all sorts of things. They implemented on their website these are the plugins for accessibility. The first one is changing the colors of the website to black, gray, white. The second one is changing the font to the font that can be read by people with dyslexia. And the last one is just zooming in, zooming in. This is the similar thing on the other site. And this is actually from Ministry of Education and Science of Macedonia. They also implemented this kind of plugins, but both of these solutions are just partial solutions. So they put these plugins and that's it. Like the rest of the pages are not completely inaccessible, but they have issues, and they need to be accessible by law, since they are state websites. I don't know, for example, they're scanning physical documents and putting it to PDF and uploading to their websites, and there's nothing you can do. It's an image, like scan is an image. They need to work a bit more to reach this level AA that is required by law, but I think they think it's enough for now, just to be, okay, so they don't get sued. Okay, and to conclude my presentation, I put some tips on how to approach accessibility testing. You basically have to decide what to test in your app. You cannot test everything. You have to detect some crucial flows that are used the most by the users of your app or of your website, and start with that. Next thing to do is learn how to use accessibility tools and plugins. It's really a learning curve to learn how to use them. You really need to spend some time to learn how to use it, so you would be able to understand how people with disabilities are using it. Also, we should not forget about good old exploratory testing, which can, you can logically conclude some issues by just exploratory testing the app. If you see that something is not intuitive to you, or it has bad user experience, it is probably the same or worse for people with disability. What can also help you, what am I also using, is our accessibility handbook, which is, I would say, if you enter, of course you have to go to WCAG to see the real guidelines, but we also covered them, and you just have like a brief overview of everything if you're starting. And we also covered, since mobile is not yet included in the latest version, we also tried to cover mobile part from our perspective, how we see it. Like, we went through the guidelines and see what is applicable to mobile apps, and we also listed it in the handbook. So that's a good thing. And why is accessibility and testing important? Because we want to include people with disabilities in our society, so they can use apps, all the apps that we are using. And of course, not to forget, accessibility promotes usability. What Anja said at the beginning, a curb-cut effect. If we implement it for people with disabilities, everyone will use it. For example, reading captions for a video in a noisy environments, or maybe adjusting screen brightness when you're in the dark or bright room. And I'm gonna finish with the famous Aristotle's quote, accessible apps make better user experience for everyone. That's it. If you have any questions, I'm here. Yes?
I have a question. What is easier to test for accessibility, mobile or web?
Well, I have more experience with mobile, but I don't know. It depends. The concept is the same. You have to think about the same things while testing it. It's just the different tools. Like the same, the tools are the same, but how you use them is a bit different. So it depends what do you prefer. I don't know.
Yeah, because
what do you usually? Are you a tester?
No.
No. Okay.
I work in a mobile software company, and because on the web testing you have to go with the keyboard, and on the mobile you don't have that. Yeah,
the difference between on mobile, when you turn on the screen reader, it also focuses the element, either first element on the screen or something else. And there are also predefined gestures on both platforms. They're basically, there are some differences, but the concept is the same. You have to swipe right or left to go to the next or previous element. Or when you want to tap on the element that is focused, you need to double tap instead of one tap. This is also like an issue. It's also a process to learn how to use, not to learn how to use it, but to get the feeling, so you don't have to think about it anymore. So you just use it without, yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, Žika?
As a software tester, what's your biggest asset in testing, in performing accessibility? Either way, web or maybe mobile. Maybe some tool, maybe some technique. What's your biggest asset?
Well, I don't know. I would say I don't know. I would say that learning how to use the tools is the most important part. All the other, everything else is you're already doing on regular testing. You're always thinking about user experience. It's a bit different. You have to get into the accessibility a bit, go through maybe guidelines, I don't know, to see how should it be. But basically, I think learning how to use the tools. Yeah, it enables you to do everything. Yeah, and you have to have. Yeah, sorry.
One more question. What is the best example you have seen for a mobile or a web app?
That is implemented correct. Well, I would say that Apple is. There's like a I think Apple implemented accessibility better than Windows or Android. So I would say all the system apps on iOS are quite good. And yeah, that's it. That's my pick. Yeah.
What about the third-party app? Third-party app on the iOS or the Android, because you said Apple is a way ahead of Microsoft or Android.
Okay.
And you mentioned that all the native apps are working good. Did you come up with some third-party app on the store, not from Apple, from someone else?
Okay, I understand. It depends how the accessibility is implemented on that app. I don't know, but I saw some patterns on some elements on both platforms that repeatedly have the same issues. Yeah, so yeah, it depends. Yeah. I cannot tell exactly.
Are we talking here about inbuilt functionality of the accessibility things in the one software produced by the company, or only talk about inbuilt software for Android or iOS or I don't know? We don't talk as, let's say, third-party software. I mean, screen reader is implemented in inbuilt software from the factory or somehow.
If you mean on the mobile phones, yeah, you have. On iOS, it's also voiceover. You just have to enable it. Like.
Don't get me wrong. We talking about only for inbuilt software. Yes, inbuilt from the factory.
Okay.
If you can buy your phone, there is inbuilt software.
Yeah.
We're talking here about only for inbuilt software. Yes.
No, screen reader is reading everything on the screen. It doesn't. It's not important.
In the software.
Yeah, it's in the settings.
Yes.
Yeah. On Android, both of them are incorporated into settings. You just have to turn it off or on.
I'm Android user.
Uh-huh.
I'm not iOS user. I said iOS is not there, so that's why I asked it.
Yeah.
Is it inbuilt software in iOS, or is there something I can?
No, it's also inbuilt. Yeah. Yeah. On Android, it's called TalkBack. Yeah. Danny?
Are there any similar tools like Wave for mobile?
Yes, thank you for your question. There's an accessibility scanner for both Android and iOS. It basically scans the screen that you're currently on. It's just it's an app that you install from the store, and you can enable it when you're in your app, and it scans the screen, and it gives you a similar overview, just like you saw for the web, and yeah, it gives you hints how to fix it and so on. On Android, it's an app, but on iOS you have to use it through Xcode, so it requires a bit more of setup. You're using it on your Mac or your PC. You see the simulator, yeah.
What's the name for the Android?
Accessibility scanner.
Oh.
Yeah. And sorry, it's accessibility inspector in the Xcode. Yeah. Any other questions, maybe?
One more. You came up in some occasion when the client asked to use some third-party app for testing something, like, I don't know, some screen reader on the app. Like, for example, on the mobile apps, usually we use those native built-in apps, but has any client asked you to do the testing on other app?
No. No. Basically, it's really hard to even persuade them to invest in accessibility, and you have to sell them your accessibility initiative, or like you have to they usually don't know anything about accessibility tools and everything, so you have to educate them, I would say.
Can I ask an uncomfortable question?
Please.
How accessible is our webpage?
It's quite good, actually.
That's a relief.
Yeah. In our first talk, we had our guest speaker, Tomislav. He's a person that is blind, and he showed us how he uses, on that talk, he showed us how he uses our web page with a screen reader, and he was really satisfied. So yeah, it's good. All of our, I have to, no, sorry. You can visit our YouTube channel, where we have all of our previous talks recorded. So you can see how he uses, he showed both web and mobile screen readers. So you can see it in the, Nice. Is that, and maybe some other questions? No? Okay, then thank you all for coming. Thank you all for questions. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed our presentations. And Mirsada, thank you again. And special thanks to hvala Mirsada što ste nam se priključili. Ne znam na makedonskom, ali nadam se da razumijete. Hvala vam puno što ste došli i podijelili svoje iskustvo. Evo još jedan pljesak za Mirsadu.